Del, you've got an announcement for us.
Yeah, at the end of the season I will be retiring from playing.
So talk us through your decision, the reasoning behind that then.
I think it's been a long time coming. I think I've been thinking about it probably since pre-season, even as far back as when we were on tour. And the biggest reason is work and my career. Working full time at an elite environment such as Liverpool Football Club, and then trying to juggle that with being a semi-professional with Wrexham is really, really difficult. It's been hard for me to give 100% to both my job at Liverpool and here at Wrexham, and because I care so much about the club, I want to be able to give 110% to everything that I do. And I think it's just time. It's come to a point where I'm going to have to choose which path I want to follow a little bit more, and that is my coaching career. I can't imagine playing for anyone else other than Wrexham after all this, after all the experiences I've had with the club, the people that I've met, the success that we've had, and just the love I have for the club. I can't imagine putting on another badge and going walking onto a pitch and playing for another team. I always knew when I first signed 4 years ago that I would end my playing career at Wrexham anyway.
Let's go back 4 years, and when you signed, you said you got your love of football back as you came to Wrexham. How were you feeling at the time? What's that been like for you?
I still stand by that. I think the last 4 years have been my favourite playing time of my whole life. Not just the results we've had on the pitch and the success that we've had, but the players I've played with over the years, the coaching staff I've worked with, all the backroom staff around that as well, such as yourselves. I've really enjoyed every single minute of it, and yeah, it did bring back my love for football, and I'll be forever grateful for everything that I've experienced and everyone I've met and everyone I've played and worked with.
When you did come back to Wrexham in 2021, what were you expecting at the time, and how has it compared since?
Like with anyone associated to Wrexham Football Club before everything blew up, we had no idea everything like this would happen. I knew that we would be, long term, we would be successful, and that at the time I knew we would eventually get promoted to the Adran Premier. I knew we would have all those sort of successes. What I didn't expect was the level of support we have from fans, not just in and around Wrexham, but overseas. The experience is just such a going on tour back in July and then doing the TST tournament in June. Never would have expected any of that, and then obviously the people that we've met that's been along a part of this wild journey as well. You can only ever dream of it. I didn't even think that it could happen, never mind dream of it.
We'll speak about those experiences in America soon, but just before that, the promotion season, the success you had here, talk us through that, and at what point did you know something special was happening that year?
I think throughout that whole season we were obviously getting the results on the pitch, but the vibe, it felt good. There was a buzz around every training session, every game we played. We knew exactly what we were aiming to do, and at one game, it was every game getting closer and closer. And I think the final turning point that really made it we can do this was when we beat Connah's away, and it was I think it was a 3-1 win, and we scored 2 late goals. That game I think was a massive turning point, and that was probably one of my favourite games in a Wrexham shirt, to be fair. Just how, because it's a difficult place to go at the time, because they were competing with us. It was whoever won probably going to go on and win the league, and I think that was a full-on turning point, and then everything that happened after. So playing at the racecourse in front of 9,500 fans, the promotion playoff. I think we knew from beating Connah's away that day that everything else was going to be possible.
You've spoken about playing here. You played here when you first re-signed for the club after the COVID pandemic and won the test events. Then you've obviously come back for that Connah's game. As somebody that's watched Wrexham as a youngster, what was that experience like with the 9,500 fans? It was
surreal. It was a dream come true. I had goosebumps. I remember walking out onto the pitch and all the big cheers, and I remember feeling quite emotional because I knew my parents in the stand as well. My dad is he's been taking me and my brothers to games here our whole lives when we were growing up. So it was a very emotional and surreal moment, and that feeling, you can't really describe that feeling, but I'll never ever forget it. And even though it was a couple of years ago now, it's still ingrained in my heart. I think that just sums up the level of support that we do have, and the fact that a women's team in North Wales was able to pack out such a fantastic stadium. I don't think anyone else would be able to repeat that.
And obviously your next game after that was against Britain Ferry at Newtown. Talk us through that whole day from your perspective.
To be fair, I was a nervous wreck. The whole bus journey there, and then when we got there, we had to sit and wait. There was a game on before, and then the Britain Ferry players were turning up, and they're eyeing you up. It was very nerve-wracking. But I think once we got onto the pitch and to the game, I think we were all fully focused on that. And look, it was a really difficult game. I said it at the time in an interview after the game, like Britain Ferry on paper, if you look at the stats and stuff like that, probably deserved to win, because we were under the cosh for the majority of the game. But ultimately, it's just football, you got to take chances, and we did. And then I would say it's probably one of my best performances in a Wrexham shirt, and I'm really proud of what I was able to do that game to help the team get the win, and obviously pay back all the support that we've had, especially the 9,500 fans that came to watch, and all the staff and everyone that believed in us. And obviously the girls worked so hard throughout that whole game. I think we were all knackered by the end of it, so I was glad that I was able to play my part in helping for the win.
Has it ever sunk in what you achieved that day, both as a team but also on a personal level? And I mean, you changed the face of North Welsh football, North Welsh women's football, forever.
I never thought of it like that before, to be honest. I know I had a big part to play in that game that day and what's happened to the women's section of the club. And I know that us getting promoted at that time helped everything that's happened since. I never thought about it like that, actually. I am being involved in football my whole life, and coaching in football and being part of the Welsh setup as a player and as a coach. I'm someone who's very passionate about women's football and wanting, especially Welsh football, to get up on the earth, and I want participation to improve in like the female part of football in Wales. To put it like you did, if I have had that much influence and had such a big effect on Welsh football, women's football in North Wales, it's an honour.
In that summer, you not only became a semi-professional footballer, you became a full-time coach as well, which goes back to what you were saying about your reasons for retirement. Do you feel like a role model? What does it mean to have blazed a trail both on and off the pitch in football?
Yeah, I think at the time when I signed the semi-pro contract, I never thought at that age I would have got that sort of contract. Usually it's the sort of thing you get when you're coming out of youth football, 18, 19, 20 years old. So I thought by that point any chance of that happening was long gone. So the fact that I was able to do that, and now I can go through the rest of my life and say I've been a semi-pro footballer, is a dream come true. And obviously it just coincided with becoming full-time at Liverpool. So I'd already been there 2 years part-time. And then the role went full-time, and ultimately that's probably been it is my dream job. Like I kick footballs at people for a living. I don't know what gets better than that. Obviously there's loads more other things in it as well, but that summer was very special. A lot of aspirations and boxes were ticked.
You said that summer was busy. Last summer, even more experiences, playing at TST for the Wrexham Red Dragons, going on tour with the women's team. Talk us through those. What were they like on a personal level?
They were... Everyone, I still get people asking me about them today. They were mind-blowing. I can't believe that we were able to have those sort of experiences, especially for anyone who'd been at the club earlier than that, played football at different clubs, different levels. The fact that we were able to go to America on tour and meet overseas fans who are crazy about what we do and who we are, it's just like I'm almost speechless about it. I still can't describe how it felt and like the experience that we had. It was just like not many people get to experience that, even whether it's CSC or the tour.
And finally, as you look back on your career now, at all those highlights, going right back to when you played for the original Wrexham Ladies and the Wales youth set up, your career within the youth academies as well, how would you reflect on it and what highlights would you pick out?
I think that I've done myself proud and my family proud. And when I was younger, I've always wanted to play for Wales, and I did that. I wanted to play for Wrexham. I did that in 2 stints. I wanted to play at a higher level as possible at whatever age I was at. So I spent a lot of my youth at Liverpool, so I've done that. And I have no regrets I don't have any what ifs, or if this happened, what if I did that. I have no regrets about anything. And I'm a big believer everything happened for a reason. And I think my journey that I've had has got me to this point, got me the honour of playing for Wrexham, and has allowed me to find my feet in the football world and the coaching side of things as well. And I fully believe I'm doing what I was put on this planet to do.
Brilliant. All the best. Thanks so much, Dale.
Thank you.